Well, hunger strike is over. 31 days. 15 days of intense striking. Not exactly, again, completely empty stomach. But I was definitely burning a lot of fats across these 30 days. And eventually added like at least 2 hours of sleep to my schedule because I'm this fucking exhausted. And then 16 more days, spending 1.5, technically $6. Not exactly one as I hoped, but it's very difficult, inflation, guys. Also, I can't just eat potatoes all the time, and I don't actually get to choose very much because my mom does extra cooking and extra going to the shop type of thing. She had to care, technically, her own way. I don't fully appreciate it, but like it was better than nothing, and potentially cheaper. And she cared about potatoes too. Not to mention, the craziest thing happens yesterday. Someone actually offered to sell potatoes. They came to apartments, knocked on people's doors, and tried to sell potatoes. This doesn't fucking happen, bro. Like in my lifetime, probably doesn't happen. Maybe once, fucking selling milk or something. That was done back in the day. This is the nicest thing someone can fucking do is like offer the most generic items to sell you. Or not generic, I don't care. Whatever the population buys. Like, we need to know. We can't just like explore all these businesses by ourselves. It's just this sort of like big question mark moment. Should we go to the businesses or businesses should come to us? Should we go to approach a girl or a girl supposed to approach us? It's like, there's a big question mark that you would not be able to answer. You can say like we have decided as a society to do this, but like, come on, man. And yes, for success, you have to be narcissistic and be like, I can take over this business and I can learn everything and I can buy whatever I want. This sort of mentality, this sort of like money mentality. This is where I, went into this matrix to unlock the clock one more time. Before I face the final boss of the hunger strike, the doctor, and basically do absolutely nothing because I was expecting a little bit more stuff to happen. But if I'm not threatened, if the only threat is that he just saw inconsistent numbers, then I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Obviously, he asks, do you really take medication? And I say it from your heart, bro. And it's like all this fucking wasteful manipulation of like, my heart needs to tell you yes because I don't actually have any options, to be honest with you. What the fuck do you want, bitch? Like, what? Are you kidding me? There's no way you can be honest with doctors. And there's like, the whole system is corrupted across the entirety of the government. If you cannot be honest with the government, it's shut down basically. Nothing goes in. And tons of shit comes out, tons of demons come out. I'll tell you that much. To look for something to do. Like, again, my mom called police and, like, medics and, like, overdone what she normally does. But now she normally does it when I kick her out. And she's stressed out and she just wants to, flex her powers. So she summoned a bunch of useless policemen who just said the same thing. But at least into my face, at least I get to see them. And I'm not really afraid of them. I just don't like that they taking way too much data, Just like the usual. Stop taking my telephone data, bro. My smartphone data, bro. You don't need it. But like, Government will desperately try and take things from you, all the information, and tell you that, oh, we're gonna make things safer and we're gonna solve problems, and none of that shit is happening. And it's gonna get pretty pathetic around Europe, I would say, until we just clean up the government and maybe reset it entirely. Some extent, like the purge is sort of like half anarchy, right? We attack the government first and see how much we can crunch into the government. The moment the government starts functioning again, like a living, breathing creature instead of a corpse or a husk, I mean, then we have to stop. Then we have to think of like, okay, they can keep their jobs. They can not be under pressure anymore. They learned their lesson. You know that they're outnumbered by smart people, by unions and all that other crap that we can create. I like to create mafia, to be honest, because they have mafia in a way. It's the corrupted version of the government. They just they get bored, so they create mafia. Like, we have to collect data. There's something going on. Oh, there's nothing. No. Did you really take your medication? Because like I really want to like put you in jail, to be honest, because like it's very important for me actually. Like, what? Are you that fucking useless? You want to punish people just because it kind of justifies your existence? I don't understand that. So yeah, I was like very annoyed, but in the end, I'm like, well, I'll get you off the hook and I'll get myself off the hook. The only frustrating part about Doctor Encounter was, besides, the relief that, like, yeah, okay, I'm not being pursued. He got his numbers. I got the correct amount of pills this time. I didn't. A game over screen immediately. It's just fell off a platform by accident, and now I have to listen to a doctor rant as a bonus part of the game over screen. But there was a little bit of rant, anyways, because you say anything wrong to a doctor, and they're like, "Wow, they're so educated, they're so smart." So I'm like, "I sleep at midnight, bro," and he's like, "No, you're wrong, because at midnight you're supposed to be in deep sleep and like until 3 a.m. like you're in deep sleep like that's where it happens, like almost like that, like if you skip this deep sleep you're like, wow, you're a bad person, you're just wrong. And I'm like, why should I care about bullshit like this? I don't know, I even know how to believe this stuff that he's saying. What's the point of deep sleep? But he's sort of like got a hint. He's like reactionary type of person, as you can already tell by looking at numbers, by looking at whatever I'm gonna say. He wants you to talk because the only fucking thing he can do is make Sniper Wolf videos where he reacts to my content. Like, it's the fucking dumbest thing ever. Asking a bunch of questions, right? You tell me about yourself, bro. Be a little bit narcissistic, because, like, holy shit. I don't think you're a good authority person if I'm forced to be here. You know, maybe acknowledge that part. Forced to be here and listen to some rants about when I'm supposed to sleep. Like, I have to lie about everything, pretty much, to to just get away from this guy. But it's like I'm forced to be there. It's just absolute insanity. And you can lose your mind because of this shit. Luckily, the rest of my life is pretty fucking awesome until, neighbors started their stupid nonsense, which got entangled in this today's adventure as well. Fascinating. Before I went to doctor again, I went into this matrix of the clock and realized that you sort of move forward consistently based on fucking heartbreaks. That is weird to me. Like, heartbreak, that's what pushes you forward. But higher and higher level of people are gonna break your hearts. And you just, like, mutually understand that you're not gonna hold a conversation together anymore. Which is so fucking minimalistic, bro, from me. Just hold a conversation, just be a smart enough person to do that. How crazy it is. So we have a few marbles in here. A few stories that I have captured to be the most important heartbreaking moments. And apparently there's a magical number 3, not 4. 3 makes me a little bit feel awkward, but it's 3 that I found. That I repeated in my life twice now. And it looks pretty cool when you put it like this. First your heart splits in half, and then the other 2 pieces get destroyed. And it's like, well, I cannot settle down here anymore. I don't even have a heart anymore. The only thing I can do is move forward in life and become a better person. Right now, my life is going to be significantly different than it used to be. I used to be suffocating from everything around me because everything revolves around money, and I'm bored if everything revolves around one thing. Like, I'm gonna get bored very easily. I don't want your money. At some point, I'm gonna just say in my brain, like, I don't want money, bro. And somehow I'm still alive. And not only that, I just have enough resources to not think about money for, like, almost forever. As long as I keep my mom alive, as long as I appreciate her existence, because that's what I'm leeching, bro. But we're more like, leading onto each other. We get benefits from each other, and I can improve her life. She can improve mine significantly. All that shit. It's if not a perfect relationship we're having here. Maybe that's what she wanted to conjure this whole time. How cool is that? Sometimes making children is not the worst thing you can do for yourself. But damn, that's a lot of patience. So yeah, everything revolves around money because, like, you have the NPCs of the world who prove themselves by surviving. How do you survive? By earning money. What do you do after you survive? Well, you make a child and make a family and make all these generic things. But there's a higher level to that. You can, not settle down just yet, learn certain skills, and then you'll settle down and build a business at some point. You'll display those skills. You'll put them into some actually competitive work. Because if you have skills, you're gonna be flexible enough to create things, most importantly. So creating a business shouldn't be a big of a task. So there's second level of people, but the third level of people, as mentioned by the clock, which is gonna move to 4, is just like we're in the apocalypse moment where everything is like uncertain. The only certain thing is that we have to change. We have to solve something. I think it's the money has to be turned into some digital currency that will be, more available than money is. Money is only available if you go to work. If you go grab that money from select few people. But once we have a digital currency, you probably can get money in other ways. And that changes the entirety of life as we know it. Everything. And everything probably goes back to normal. While, all the apocalyptical things just fade away into the past. We can close the chapter if we're successful enough as humanity. Anyways, so the next step is that number 4 thing, which stands for authority, government, power, and fucking vampires. But most importantly, this is the third level, which is special. for special people who have crowns, who have actually achieved something and established something. Achieve something with skills, but a cluster of skills, which, let's say you made the best card game, or you're the best at eating food for some reason. Some achievements are bigger than others, obviously. Like Mr. Beast has the biggest channel on YouTube. Wow. Crazy ass achievements, crazy ass crowns that people are holding because they have won the competition of some kind. This is level 3, my friends. There's still level 4, where things get really fucking weird. Because how can you go beyond that? What, rule a country? I have no idea. How do you go beyond that? Level 3. Which I have reached, almost, by surviving and by being heartbroken this whole time. You know, that means that I have interacted with the people and I have reached out to people and they have rejected me. Some of them in brutal fashion. So we can talk about it in a way, but briefly. So there's the Monica encounter. Instant rejection, basically. But not really. I was able to, like, flock around her friends and get a bigger picture of what Monica is, to the point where it feels like I was entangled with her, but she still doesn't want to interact with me. But I still wrote a book, so it was very weird relationship that she ran away from. So that's cool. That was my first crush, basically. All right, let's level up then. So this was Sweet. Sweet technically in a way stole my friends, and I was able to contact her eventually and create drama out of it to see if things move around. And they sure did. They broke up afterwards. You know, I put a lot of pressure in there. I put a lot of care. But I didn't get anything out of it, obviously. Because who cares about me, right? Fuck me, guys. The only thing I got is just to visit her at her home, to go around a park, to have a girl in my room, to cry for 30 minutes. Yeah, that's what I got, bro. You can cry for 30 minutes. That's the best part. Then there was a big change in my life. From Monica to Sweet to travel to UK to see if my life is going to change, and surely it did. I went to next level because now I get to have my own business, right? No, I get to not give a fuck about making a business. I can look at other people's businesses and appreciate it. You know, it's best not to touch anything because I'll be set on fire and I'm too smart, you know. People just gonna take advantage of me anyways. If I do something, if I become a smart person, they will have expectations and they will want to pay me the same exact amount almost. That's kind of the strategy of business. Like, it's pointless being smart. Also, it's intimidating to other people if you're smart, because they want to earn money. They don't want friends who, like, want to borrow money or, like, you know, sort of have a cleaner access to your money than you do because I'm smart. If you're so smart, then you have to be independent and earn money by yourself. All these attitudes like clustered together, it's even hard to like pinpoint exactly how it sounds like. It's just like everyone's fighting for themselves. I don't care if you're smart, just sacrifice yourself. But I'm smart, I want to like sell my smart ideas and stuff and advice, right? That's the whole point. But it's almost like impossible. So the only thing I can do is sell it to myself, appreciate it by myself, appreciate it out loud, and make my YouTube channel. Technically, that's the business end game of like, well, I'll make a YouTube channel because the coolest thing I can do is like harvest views and attention, as little as it is. It will still, make for a good story, and it seemed to be the escape route, I would say. Now, there's also 3 levels to that of heartbreak, which is crazy. Like, wait, I have replicated the complexity and moved on with next level girls? Pretty much. Like, pretty much to the point. So, I call her Ozzy, bro. Not Azzylands, but A to Z, because, like, that's her name. AZ. And she's also kind of like a substitute for a sweet person, but she's also, like, self-destructive in a way. And it's very cringy, like, celebrating Halloween. Very attractive person, at least from school times, that just kind of went into absolute darkness and wanted to act like an NPC, but in a way that doesn't really suit her, doesn't really make her seem proud of herself or comfortable with it. It's like a completely different person living a double life or a fake life. I guess that's how she made her life easy. Pretend to be an NPC, but actually have this gamer girl power. A gamer girl is better than an NPC girl. I'll tell you that much. So it must be here. It must be level 2, by all means. A girl that cares about technology in any way, that's something. That's a big deal. She's gonna have success eventually. She's gonna build a business eventually, right? If she wants to. She doesn't have to build a business for money. Whatever, right? So, the second one, and most notorious one on my channel, is Geo, the witch girl. Actually, I didn't even talk about this thing, but in my workplace in UK, I had a girl that tried to talk to me, and after she talked to me, I have never seen her again. Like, she just disappeared. I have not seen her in the same workplace again, even though the expectation was there. Like, she would just return. It would be a normal thing. But no, never again. Not a chance to talk to her again about anything. Which is, heartbreaking. And it's like, why did that happen? And why she started showing more and more affection, and it's like, shit, maybe she felt it like a drug, and she had to fucking leave. And I felt like it's a fire element, but technically it's undefined. I barely spent any time, but it's like the nicest thing. The nicest real-life encounter in a way. Someone tasted me. And they really liked it, but they didn't like that they are not good enough for me, almost. That sort of feeling, right? Why you're not married? Yeah, that was the question, bro. That was the debate that we delved into. And it sort of felt nice, but yeah, I guess it's like crippling of like, maybe you did something wrong if you're married already by this age. Yeah, I've seen people with babies and all that shit, like, it's cringe. At early age, like, I can't relate. I don't understand. I don't like it. I don't tolerate that shit. Because I'm better. That's just what it is. I call them breeders. I call them lower level people. They just follow the programming of what everyone else is doing, what everyone else thinks is successful. They can achieve it fairly easily sometimes. And they just settle down with that. And it's pretty fucking sad because it's a hard life to live. Just making babies, bro. I don't know, man. So Geo was also gamer girl type that I've spent a lot of time with, but she also felt like I'm her drug of some kind. Like she wanted more and more and more until it crashed, and I can't give you that shit. So yeah, these are fire elements. These are narcissists. Like they get addicted spending time with me. Oh wow, being an Earth person is so cool. And then there's the class reunion moments where anything could have happened. So I labeled it as red. Anyone could have been my interest, and at least give me a pity conversation that leads somewhere. Like even outside of my class, I don't care. But someone could have contributed to me being happier in the end. Like for fuck's sake. And it didn't happen. So that sucked. You know, I creeped out everyone. No pity whatsoever. No attempt to understand where I'm coming from. None of that shit. Too scary, too creepy. Alright. Yeah, so I chose whatever I liked the most. Whatever I creeped on the most. And in my dreams, I fucking, you know, at least jumped on that girl like twice now. It's crazy. I think she gets the idea now. So now we're on a clean slate. The class reunion break up have been the most recent thing for like 1.5 years or something. And it's about time to start a new slate and see who's gonna break my heart now. Can't fucking wait, guys. But we're definitely needs next level people. We're not gonna settle down for this shit anymore. We're not gonna let them speak their minds and bother me if they're from lower ranks. Now I want higher level people, like way higher. Like God knows how high, because like you now have to have a crown. You have to have something to be proud of at this point. Constantly. To generate self-esteem constantly. To have activities and, you know, talk about it constantly. Like you have to have it. Otherwise, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to do between us. There's no way you can catch up to my level anyways. So that's where we at right now. So I've analyzed this matrix to prepare myself against the doctor encounter, or at least to motivate myself as if I will need this. But obviously, as you walk as a zombie, everything gets erased, and like I am exhausted, and I kind of want to appear that way to the doctor. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be exhausted, bro. I'm gonna be unhappy because of the way I was treated, and the threats are real. The threats are disgusting. Him sniffing around for a mistake is painful, bro. But it is, you know, it is numbers on the screen. We trust computers more than we trust human beings, after all, which is the dumbest thing, but it is what it is. The human beings at least make the final decision, in a way. So, I think I'm not in trouble, guys. I think I can just forget about the hunger strike, right? But one thing that's not over yet, and might be the story of tomorrow, of my birthday, you know, because good things come in pairs. The March 4th and the 5th. And on the 11th, when Ariana fucking releases her shit. Maybe that's a big moment for her. And again, I still will not erase that rewinds that she just placed in a letter. Yeah, rewinds. Rewind, Ari. How do you know? Yeah, it's really, really hard to tell who's gonna break my heart. Who's powerful enough to even attempt to waste my time into a heartbreak? Like, how is it gonna happen? How is it possible? It's like intercontinental across multiple countries. I have to go viral of doing some stupid thing, and then I get attention. I don't know, bro. I don't know what has to happen, but it's not the usual stuff. It's not the usual where I just like beg for attention and someone fucking replies, and it happens to be a girl, bro. Like the usual not gonna work anymore. But isn't that weird? How you make progress by failing? Failure gives you progress because you would think like settling down is success, but that's not true. And settling down is sort of like giving up on improving yourself and like, well, you're just gonna rely on that other person and grow with that other person, which might actually turn out to be slower or impossibly slow or growth in a completely different direction, which I still have to prove. But it's very easy when you look into the NPC culture of like how they behave. It doesn't seem normal. It seems very structured of like I have to do this and I have to do that. It's very programmed. There's not a lot of freedom in the end. They have predetermined tasks that they want to achieve in their lives in a very specific way of doing it. And it's like, what? That's boring. And then you have business people, but like money can get boring sometimes, and I want to do bigger, better things. I want to still be free from money as well. So yeah, earning money is gonna free you up, and potentially I can still fall through the cracks back to level 1 and become an NPC. I am Gurunext. Thank you for watching my video. Like and subscribe. Please leave a comment for how much you dislike Jackson's hairline. You know, I'll be that person. So yeah, I was trying to prepare this for the doctor. The doctor encounters seem to be simple of like, okay, you're off the hook. And I'm like, oh, fucking sucks. This whole time I exaggerated my condition. But I kind of didn't because, again, we're dealing with a person with ridiculous amount of power. One slip up and he fucking spinning me around or eating me like a fucking spider. And I will just die, bro. I will die if I get reported for doing wrongdoing. But literally such a reactionary person. I have to have perfect sleeping schedule, everything. Like he just NPC generator 1000. Like he's the most annoying person ever. He just sees like, oh, science talks about NPCs and this is what an NPC is supposed to do because that's the most efficient way to be an NPC. And like, bro, like I sit here like, okay, I'll take your lecture because it's interesting because you talk to NPCs a lot, and I guess that's why I'm here. I need to like open my eyes and be like, oh my god, there's so many NPCs receiving dumbass programming of like, you have to sleep at this particular time and you have to feel this particular way, you have to talk about these particular things and achieve particular things in your life. And you have to pretend the medication is trying to help. And you have to look a certain way as well. Or I don't like you, actually. You have to wear certain type of clothes. Like, what the fuck, man? The doctor is just waiting for you to say anything, and then you're wrong. And it's like, gotta be kidding me, man. This is what I have to sit through over and over again. And it's not an easy thing to just start battling You know, I can't just, oh, you think I'm wrong? I can't just raise my ego to next level. So technically, maybe I'm pretending to be an NPC and he's just vibing with that. I don't know, bro. Another thing I have to discuss, besides the fact that I'll be stealing a lot of crowns with my card game first, the best skills I have is as a game developer. So I can steal the card game crown. I can make the better card game than Hearthstone, and then beat the other card games at the same time, just to seal the deal. Just to tell people that, yeah, guys, I know what I'm doing. I understand game balance, and game balance is the most important part, especially in card games. Game balance, for fuck's sake. And I'm getting teased by Elder Scrolls Legends all the time. Every time I play it, it's like perfectly balanced game. They knew how to do it, so I can do it better. I can carry the flag forward, the Elder Scrolls Legends flag, and I know how to do it. I know the like unfun parts of that game. So that's all I have to do, just finish the carry, and we're there. That's usually how the fucking Bethesda designs their games. They're almost like teasers. They're unfinished because they're imbalanced. But yeah, that was yeah, it wasn't finished because Enderall showed up and I'm like, shit, that's a balanced Skyrim. That's a thing that I can actually play and enjoy. And Enderall was so cool. Enderall, right? I'm not supposed to talk about a different game. Yeah, Nerum was the Oblivion version. So yeah, uh, I have a small window of opportunity to pull Elder Scrolls Legends forward where it belongs in its full glory, full potential, and hopefully beat Hearthstone with it, and then beat whatever else I desire from there. Because once I establish a game, making more games is a lot easier every single time. It's about making a proper engine, right? You steal one crown, that now you have a kingdom. Now you can expand your kingdom. It's very interesting. Game of real life. Have you tried being a king and then settling down? It's a pretty cool life. But there's still something beyond that point. And I don't even know what that is. It is fascinating to me. Anyways. So these are number 4. And I can crush that. I can steal a lot of crowns almost for free. I have like 6 times the bonus in comparison to what I used to be. Much more powerful, much more effective I am, but I might still get bored. I might still not like being the king. I might still level up. I might still get heartbroken. So we'll see whether I have advantage or disadvantage in life. It doesn't really change anything. Because the moment you're in a relationship, your partner might be in an advantage, and you rely on them to carry the entire family. And you love them very much in return. What a big fucking deal. So that's the whole point. That's the whole dynamic of men and women, and even more because of 2 different elements. So you might have a disadvantage as an earth element, but then you get married to another element. It can be earth. It can be your own fucking sister, basically. But like, even then you're kind of countering the disadvantage of halving your powers. And then you can make as many children as you want to boost yourself up if you think you have enough need for it, to take over the world with children. I don't know, bro. I don't know how you do it exactly. But this is what settling down means. Even as a disadvantage, you can still do pretty well. Well, I escaped that. Now I'm gonna grow really fast and get everything I need to beat many crowns, many world achievements, not just personal achievements, but now worldwide achievements. That's a big leap, isn't it? But that just sounds very similar to me. Anyways, I'm glad I'm like putting a dot in this chapter. But there's something again I haven't solved. The fucking loud and noisy neighbors. But I sort of starting to figure out what's going on. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the timeline is. I know that the noise started in December and never fucking stopped. Children are just running around and annoying me. And I have to get in trouble to try and like stop them somehow. There's one thing I might want to do tomorrow at my birthday is to have a conversation with my neighbor. The old woman that probably is getting suffocated by all the children she has to take care of like a fucking babysitter. Like, she should just either be left alone or be taken care of like my mom, if she needs to be taken care of. Maybe she likes being independent. I don't know, bro. That's why we're gonna have a conversation, but otherwise, it's a big nightmare, bro. The boom boom, boom 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 boom. That you hear children make crazy fucking noises. And crazy thing happened, by the way. This is what makes it so very twisted. I was going to a doctor and I meet my neighbor who owns a child that's in this children's package that shows up at least every Sunday, Saturday, and makes so much fucking noise. And I don't actually hear children make noise. I just hear their fucking feet and the doors closing and smashing, bro. Like, ugh. That shit I hear across two walls. Like, please leave me alone. We're 2 walls apart. Can you, like, not do that? So it wasn't a long conversation with the dude, but it's so bizarre that he recognizes me, he approaches me, and we met each other in the fucking first place while I was going to a doctor. Like, what are the coincidences? What are the chances? I don't go outside, like, ever. Ever. Especially in the fucking hunger strike, I did not go outside. And yet, this one time I go outside, in the middle of the day, grant you that, there's more people. And here he is. Like, what? We talking about glitches? Well, my neighbors did a glitch, but they will still not exist on my leaderboard. The only thing that exists is horror that it has created. It's so painful, bro. And I don't think anything just changes like that, but a conversation does change a lot. All right, me just doing a bunch of counter noises, talking the wall language, is not very productive, I don't think, because it's very difficult to understand that sort of language. But at the same time, there's a simple proposition. You make noise, I make noise. It's just how it goes, bro. I can't... There's nothing we can do, and there's nothing police can do to stop us from fighting each other like that. So, that's a proposition. Or they can just stop, or maybe she needs help to get rid of the fucking noisy children in her life. Maybe she doesn't like them very much. It's just, grandchildren at this point. There's 2 layers of children now. There's 3 guys who sends children into this, like, tiny kindergarten across the wall, where there's definitely not enough space and there's not enough patience in my brain to handle this sort of nonsense. Like, I at least kind of shut up them running around. I don't hear that anymore. But man, it was still difficult to survive the Sunday, Saturday nonsense. Like, what the fuck was that? It was just difficult to even know where the noise is coming from exactly. And I'm just like so disappointed in those neighbors, bro. To start a new generation of assholes. Like, enough is enough, bro. Second generation assholes. From children into teenagers who want to fucking piss me off. By default is what's gonna happen if they just keep on fucking manifesting around here. Because I'm the bad guy, of course. Losing peace and quiet, I mean, is the most valuable resource I have. I literally can't survive without peace and quiet. I need to generate thoughts. I need no distractions. Especially no noise. That's just purely painful and unreasonable and pointless. And someone is having more fun than I am? Yeah. That's a little bit of an asshole behavior right there. When I'm suffering, they still just can run around and not worry about shit. So, the contrast is a little bit out of control here. I have to make them suffer, but first, you have to offer, as a good person would do, negotiation. You know, why start war without negotiations when you can do one with negotiations? Obviously, Putin forgot what negotiations mean, but that's fair. It happens sometimes. Because he wouldn't negotiate for his own presidency seat. Why would he negotiate with other countries? He doesn't care. He just sends orders to kill anyone who resists him. That's it. Like, eventually he's just a simple, crooked dictator. So, yeah, negotiation is a pretty big word for reasonable and nice people. Yeah, all of this goes away now. $1.6 every day. Seeing the good and evil and how much I dislike life in general. But the only good is the one that I can see through the internet. I can grab it. And it's the infinite buffet of things to do and things to look at. I'm like, well, I'm very entertained. I don't know why people are so generous. But a star is born and sucks in all the attention. And I like it. And it's a very interesting thing to look at and discuss and worry about and create drama over. So yeah, it's finally over. I'm exhausted, but I can finally eat normally and do normal videos again. We'll see if it's a relief. But again, when there's no real threat and I can probably handle the rest of life without getting in trouble. But we'll still see. Anything is possible. Right? Especially when I have to fucking steal crowns. It's just, I sort of know what I want to do. And the other step is to simply clean up my life. So there's no distractions, there's no problems around me. That people understand that I'm a busy guy. I'm not just fucking around. And peace of quiet for me is a very valuable resource that I just can't, I refuse to give away. And yes, back in the past I would be violent about it, like I desperately need at least that. Like, I'm already left alone by everyone. I don't have enough friends to hang out with. Might as well just grab peace and quiet, right? Like, at least I can stay with myself and not be disturbed. But it's so painful when you can't even stay by yourself. Like now, at that point, I can barely have anything at all. Besides pain. Like, now you're cornered. What did I learn doing hunger strike in general? Because again, I had to do it to prepare myself. I might have to feel the same feelings And I needed to know how difficult it is to survive a hunger strike. And it's very exhausting at some point. Like you're not actually in pain. You're just very tired, just like Mr. Beast portrayed, like very tired all the time. And it's so out of control. It is painful because like you can barely control that thing. It almost makes no sense. It's such an irrational feeling, where you're tired but you can't really sleep, and it's just so painful. The most uncomfortable thing ever that you can feel. You're tired, you don't like you're sort of in pain, but not the pain that your body wants to give to your brain to feel. You know you're in pain, but you don't get to feel it anymore. You know you're being tormented by feelings and being annoyed, but it's just like your body won't be able to take it, so you don't get to feel it. You know you have cravings, but you know you're also gonna block those cravings. So what's the point, right? Your body just shuts down that pain reception. So yeah, this whole time I've been avoiding physical activity, exercise, going outside. I guess it's gonna be over eventually, and I will have plenty of energy to be just normally active. I'm not sure if I'll do it immediately, but I will start eating properly now. I will slowly recover and take my revenge too, because fucking combat. I'll be able to do combat again. Can't wait to beat everyone up. Why should I talk about Doctor when I can just beat him in my imaginary world? Of like, oh, I'm not in trouble anymore. So that's a big contrast. And even Doctor's assistant seems like a fucking irrational woman that's scared. Fucking put a file on a chair that's close next to her. Like, oh my god, I'm so scared of you. Like, what the fuck is this irrational fucking behavior? So annoying, bro. Like, I get to interact with NPC doctor and NPC, assistants. It's just the most demoralizing shit ever. That they're scared of you. Like, what the fuck? Like, fear is, in a way, disrespect. It's just pure disrespect because you don't understand me. Like, if I'm not dangerous and you fear me, what the fuck? If you're taking extra steps to defend yourself, to be more aggressive, to be more annoying, like, you don't understand what the fuck this is. Yeah. Extra dangerous because you may or may not have taken medication. So we have blocked this chair. You have to sit over here. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, they started it. They started the fucking disrespect moment. And maybe it's very difficult for me to earn their respect. But it's just like, what the fuck, man? The game is so complicated that they're playing. The demands are so high. Like, at some point, I'm just giving up because, like, what you're doing is just asking for NPC programming of some kinds. Yet, while they expect that, they also expect to be always right, whatever they say, whatever they educated about. And this is so pointless. It would be so nice if people just understand what we collectively hate, what we don't like. Discuss this more. It's the conversations that's gonna, like, push things forward properly and honesty. If I cannot be honest with my doctor, then there has to be other people that I can be honest with. If they're scared of me, I have to, not treat them with respect anymore because they just simply don't deserve it. If you're scared for me too early, I'm not bluffing, you know. I'm not dangerous, I swear. There's no fucking possibility of anything happening unless you're dangerous to me. Then I'm dangerous, of course. You know, but yeah, bad things could happen. They know it. They could do bad things if they detected bad things. And they suspect that they might have to do bad things. Is they're the ones that dangerous, you know. They have to take the blame. If there's fear, there's danger somewhere. And then there's the trolley problem. I was wondering of like, where did the trolley problem come from? Is the authorities deciding of like, should I save this one person or 5 people? You know, well, you have to find where's the danger. Who's the more dangerous person? Who can you trust more than kick the ass of the other ones? If you cannot trust those 5 people, but they're all sticking together, if they're fucking belong to mafia of some kind, some kind of cult group that cannot be trusted, criminal gang, like, of course you just perish them, throw them in a pit, and problem solved. Just find whichever one is more dangerous. In case you have to choose of whose destiny to falter. But if there is fear, there is danger. There's that trolley choice to happen. That's being manifested, basically. That's being admitted. Now, there's imaginary boogeyman. If you don't encounter anyone, then there is no real fear. You have to encounter, like, fully. Encounter with something actually happening. With people interacting with you in a disgusting manner. You know. Otherwise, it's just the boogeyman. You can even walk away and people start gossiping about you. It's like, whatever, right? You sort of might understand, you might not understand what they're talking about. It's up to them to figure out if they care about you or not. Who fucking cares? They might not even remember your face or whatever. Or you might not remember them, and it doesn't matter. But yeah, there's the fear gambits, for sure. The moment you use fear as an emotion, you become likely irrational. You start likely doing irrational things. Becoming, again, aggressive or resentful. All these things. Which indicates a potential heartbreak. You know, same happens with women. They become same as fearful. And get locked out of ability to be with you, basically. No matter how much you're going to improve, those women are not going to be in your life anymore. And that's pretty powerful, right? And it's a good conclusion, I would say. It's a good ending to the story. I'll take it. See you guys next time.